Hello everyone, my name is Bilikis. Today is going to be a quick one. I'll be making this waterfall lapel jacket. You can see how it looks. It's very easy. So cotton material, your African print fabric will be very good for this. I just had to quickly make this for you to see how it looks. Can you see that? You could even style it with your pressing iron to have some wavy effects. So that totally depends on you. But for you to understand what I'm actually talking about, I'll quickly put this on for you to understand the concept. This is this, can you see that? So this is the idea of what I was talking about. So you could even style it however you want. You see that? Then you can even use a belt on it. You are good to go. Let me just use my measuring tape. Please don't do that. Just for you to get an idea. Can you see that? So you could just tie it however you like. You can see it's a very simple jacket. So right now let's go back to the work table to make this. I'll be making use of this fabric to make this jacket. I want the length of my jacket to be 28 inches with hemming allowance inclusive. So first I'll just make a straight line here. I want my selvage off. So 28, I'll place 28 here. Make it into a straight line before we insert all our necessary measurements. If you have your basic bodice pattern, it's so easy. All you have to do is to place it on this, because we are working on the back pattern right now. So the next measurement is what? Is to insert half of your armhole on yours. Mine is 8.5. But what I will do is that I can just make it 9, because I won't be adding the shoulder allowance. If you don't want to go through the stress, you could just make it 9. But I could still maintain my 8.5. The next measurement will be my waist, which is 16.5. The next measurement, my hip, which is 24. Then I'll make all these points into a straight line. Now, after making all the lines into a straight line, the next thing is to insert the 3 inches, 8 inches standard to determine the slope. 3 inches, 8 inches standard. You see that? Then I'll come down by 1 inch. So now for the neckline, let's just go over the horizontal measurement. Quarter of my bust measurement is 10.5, but I'll add half an inch east to it because it's a jacket. So that's the ease. Then remember 1 inch hemming allowance. Then back to the waist. Quarter of my waist is 9 inches. That is, my waist circumference divided by 4 is 9 inches. But I'll just add half an inch extra to it to make it a little bit loose. Then don't forget the 1 inch. Going over to the hip. I forgot to draw this into a straight line. So that's my hip line. Quarter of my hip is 11 inches. Then I'll add extra half to it to make it a bit loose. Then 1 inch. Allowance. So I'll connect from my chest line to my waist. You see that? Then with my hip curve, I will have to connect this. You see, the tools are still available if you are interested. And I'll just place this way, finish it off. Can you see that we are as good as done? So back to the neckline and the armhole line. So the next thing now is to insert my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is, half of it is 8.5. That is if, okay, let me just put this, not to confuse you, 8.5. Then you come over to this part to insert half of your shoulder measurement. Then let me draw a straight line. So if you want to add sleeve to yours, you can just maintain these measurements. Do you get that? So half of this is 3 3/4, which is here, and connects with my armhole curve. This is the back panel, but the front one will be going deeper around that place, but we are working with the back panel. I'll show you how to do that on the front panel. Can you see that? So if you're having sleeves to yours, just maintain this. But if you don't want to have sleeve on it, just go in from this point, half of your shoulder measurement by 1 inch or 1.5 or 1.25. That totally depends on you, but I'll just make it, let me just make it 1 inch. That is if you don't want sleeve on it. Then connect from this part to the edge of your armhole and then blend it up. This is if you don't need a sleeve, but if you want a sleeve, you have to maintain this line. For the neckline now, I'll just make the depth 1 inch. That's what I have. For the width, I'll just make it 4. This is 3 or 3.5. So the remaining ½ inch will be along this side. You could make it 3, 2.5 depending on your size. Now connect this. Don't forget the ½ inch hemming allowance. So if you don't want to go through this stress, just add it to the measurement from your chest line. Next thing is to cut out. So if you want a sleeve, you maintain this straight line, but if it's sleeveless, you go through this way. And the neckline. We are as good as done. So we will use this to cut out the front panel. I'll have to fold the leftover fabric again because we have to extend the back panel by 5 to 7 inches depending on how wide you want it to be. After doing this, then I'll draw a straight line to be the baseline. Place this panel on it. Then you will now have to measure the distance. It has to be 5 inches, so I still have to move it backward. If need be, you have to fold the fabric again. Can you see that? Until I achieve 5 inches here. Now I've extended the line. So initially I wanted 5, but let me just make it 6 because of the allowance. So this is 6 inches. I'll come over to the middle, 6 inches. Down here, 6 inches. So just adjust this. Please do not ignore this line. So now I have it here. So now I'll have to cut from here. Can you see the way I place it? This is the back panel, the armhole side is over here, and then I have the SS here. So for the neckline, all you have to do is to just from this point connect it in a straight line, or you could have it a little bit slanted. That totally depends on you. Sewing is all about creativity. Can you see this? So now let's cut from there. Cut the armhole area. We are still going to cut that deeper because that's the front panel. And we'll go back to the neckline. Now this is what we have. This is for the back. See that. So for the front now, I'll get my armhole before slitting this part up. So now place your armhole here. from this part, just like half an inch to 3/4 inch inward. Can you see that? And I'll trim that off. That's good. So before I slit this hole, so the shape you want now totally depends on you. So like mine, I just shape it right. This is the middle. You just have something like this. Like this. You could even start from this edge. It totally depends how you want to shape it. Can you see that? Then you curve it this way. You could even make another alteration, curve it this way, straight down to this part. That totally depends on you. The shaping depends on you. But let's just make do with this. So it totally depends on how you want it to be, but make sure this part is curved. So now I will slit the rest open. Then we can just check it out. If you feel it's not enough, we can shape it again. So this is how this looks. Can you see that? Now place it this way. You see what I have. So this is how it will look like. Okay. This part goes this way, and you see that. So in case you want to make any adjustment again, for instance you want it to be this way, you could always trim it off. So that totally depends on you. So this is what we have. I'll place it on the back panel for you to see. Now can you see what we have? This is this is the lapel. So we'll have, can you see that? So if you want this to come up a little bit, that means you have to trim this a little bit more. So that totally depends on you. Sewing is all about creativity. So just for you to understand now, I will go to the sewing machine, take in 1 inch by the sides, ½ inch here, and then show you how it looks. This is the result of what we've just made. Can you see? It's so nice and very easy to make. So when you are walking around the cup area, you need to be careful, but it is easy if you know how to go about it. You can see that. Just rock it with a belt and you're good to go. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, tell your friends about it, follow me on Instagram, Bilikis Signatures, and we are starting our beginners class, intermediate class, and advanced class on the 5th. So if you're interested, you can still contact us. Bye for now.